Well, it looked like Hollywood came to Yutan, Nebraska today, but the producers are first responders. They invited our Mike McKnight to the scene of a realistic demonstration intended to make an impression on teen drivers.
The two-car crash in front of Yutan High isn't real, but first responders treated it like an actual tragedy. 250 impressionable students watch how distracted or impaired driving can cause pain.
Somebody please help me!
And suffering for teen drivers and their passengers.
Teaching all the kids that stuff happens quickly. You gotta stay focused when you're driving.
Yutan police and Saunders County deputies joined Yutan first responders in using method acting to get their point across. They deployed the jaws of life to free a half-dozen student volunteers in makeup that reminded rescuers of what they've seen in real life.
It looks like we have an open fracture.
I think it's the most impactful when the kids see it in action, see what really happens on a scene.
It's not just a demonstration of life-saving measures. The 7th graders through seniors also see how a teen driver would be tested for drunk driving, while a distraught parent of an injured passenger reacts at the scene.
And I hope they could see how much grief and see what these kind of tragedies can cause.
The mock crash went over and above to be realistic. The Children's Hospital helicopter landed near the school to transport a student actor treated as if she's in critical condition and receiving CPR by the Children's Trauma Team.
I think it'll show kids how bad it can be if you're driving distracted and what can actually happen.
One student actor got an uplifting experience with a fly around. Though all the makings of a movie set, the message intended for the student body is as serious as a body bag. In Yutan, Mike McKnight, First Alert 6.
This is the first mock crash at Yutan High School in 9 years, so school officials and first responders are reaching a new generation of students. Well, the U.S. Postal Service could run out of